I'm a setting sun, but I'll never run. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I will stay and fight as long as I'm alive. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. Hell's at my door. I'm a shadow of the man I was before. I'm a dead man walking. Before I die, I'll take every soul I can into the night and kill till I die.
Good evening everybody, and welcome to round 2 of the South African Porsche Cup, proudly sponsored by Alwyn Glass. Unfortunately a very quiet attendance at the moment, thank you to Eskom. So hopefully as the session progresses more guys will be able to join. But very quiet at the moment. So here we are, round 2, Aldo Scribante in the windy city of Port Elizabeth. A 4.1 kilometer circuit, very tight, very slippery grass, very tight infield. Should make for some exciting and dangerous racing. Lots and lots of tire barriers everywhere. If you go off, you've got to be really careful not to connect with them. Alright, so let's get into it. So we're now into qualifying. It's a 25-minute session for this round. Usually it's 20 minutes, so it's 5 minutes longer than usual. Just to give some guys hopefully a bit more chance of making it as the power comes on, usually between 8 and 8:30, so hopefully that's enough for a few more guys to join us. Unfortunately nearly half the field has been taken out thanks to load shedding. But for the guys that are here, Sean Webb has been flying in practice. He did a 206.1, and Stephen Kessler hot on his heels with a 206.2. While everyone's doing a few laps, let's have a quick look. It's still early days, so we don't have to worry too much about times yet. So let's have a quick look at the season standings at the moment. So coming into this round, we have Timo Smits in first place with 47 points. Sean Olivier second place, 41 points. Monet Duploy third place with 35 points. Sean Johnson fourth place with 29 points. Stephen Caslin fifth place with 25 points. Waldo Swiggers in sixth place with 22 points. Sean Weber in seventh place with 20 points. Bjorn Buchner in eighth place with 18 points. Dani Stander in 9th place with 15 points, and Ross Human in 10th place with 13 points. Unfortunately the live timings that it shows via this only shows the top 10, so I can't give you the rest unless I show you it like so. There we can see that in 11th place we have Harvey Goos with 11 points. In 12th place with 10 points we have Rian van der Westhuizen. In 13th place we have Marius van Wyk with 9 points. In 14th place we have Hilke Vereniger with 8 points, who is our series sponsor from Alban Glass. In 15th place we have Dylan Versaghi, also another driver, top driver that's getting the hang of R-Factor. Unfortunately had an engine blowout in the previous round. Willem Steyn in 16th place with 1 point, and Dennis Knutzer hasn't been able to make it for some reason for this round. He was the pace setter for the previous round until his power went out or something stopped him. Andre Hildebrandt is taking up the rear. Didn't get any points due to technical issues at the previous round, so fingers crossed no technical issues here. So at the moment we have Stephen Castellan on a 106.178. He's 0.460 ahead of Sean Webber, who in the practice session had done a 106.1. Looks like Sean Olivier is going to possibly hit the barrier. Ooh, just catching it, and there goes his bonnet. Don't want that happening in the race. Sean Johnson currently in 3rd place. Andre Hildebrandt currently 4th. Johan Buchner, I see, he has managed to join us. That's great. He's in 5th place. Ross Schumann in 6th place. Mario, he's one of our newer drivers. He's in 7th place. Marius van Wyk is in 8th place. Rian van der Westhuizen is in 9th, and Sean Olivier in 10th. So Mario is a new driver, Mario Claessens. He's a friend of Stephen Castellan, so I'm hoping that he will be up to speed and challenging along the likes of Stephen for the front. But it looks like it's going to be very close this round between Stephen Castellan and Sean Webber. Sean Webber's really been on the pace. And Sean Johnson currently sitting a solid 3rd. With the likes of Monet Deploy and Timo Smit not being here this round yet, Sean Johnson and Stephen Castellan stand to gain greatly in the championship points battle, with only being a 5-round championship and the points being so tight. It's going to be very hard for anyone to miss a round and make up the points. So here we have Sean Webber. Nice and clean there. This is a particularly tricky corner. You can either take a slightly tighter line in and go wide out, or take a wider line in and go tighter in. Both seem to net very similar time-wise. Coming out here, use all the exit but not touch the grass like that. That loses a lot of momentum. Look like Rian van der Westhuizen getting a bit sideways there. Sean Webber managing to navigate successfully past him with the fastest middle sector, and then just getting unsighted by Rian, then getting a little bit wide in, and that's it. Around came the rear. There goes Marius van Wyk past him. Apologies for all our graphics not being 100% correct this week. Unfortunately, with the load shedding, and it's been pretty hectic this week, we haven't been able to hit all our targets. So from next week on, hopefully everything will be the way it should be again. So apologies for that. But this is round 2, not round 1. For those with a keen eye and looking at the thumbnails and all the videos in between. Synchronized drifting there and going off. And Sean Webber and Maurice van Wyk. Sean Webber once again, fastest first sector, fastest second sector, and then losing it in the third sector. Once again catching up to traffic and getting unsighted, and that's it. Very tricky in these cars. Not sure that was going off, that was possibly Rian going off there. I think Rian's struggling a lot at this track. Bjorn Buchner in the fantastic looking number 43. Ross Human driving the 46. Some of the drivers have managed to have their own skins made, so that we've managed to integrate properly. Slowly getting to grips with the simulator and being able to manipulate everything properly, so hopefully as the season progresses things will just look better and better when ESCOM doesn't get in the way. Right, so Sean Webber hasn't managed to set the fastest first or second sector, and every time he's done that he seems to have gone off in the final sector. Maybe he'll do the opposite now. But he doesn't manage to improve. And unfortunately there's a replay of Rian spinning off. The grass here is just brutal. I see Stephen Castellan is 0.040 off Sean Webber's time. Incredibly close at the front. And just after setting that time, managing to go off, that's not going to be very comfortable for him. Brace for impact. That Marshall's extremely brave, not even flinching. Just waving his flag, being very professional. So it's looking like we're going to have a great battle for first between Sean Webber and Stephen Castellan. A really good battle for second between Ross Human and Sean Olivier. And Sean Johnson's likely to be fighting for that battle because he's not too far behind them, but he usually goes better in the race. And then we have Bjorn Buchner, and I think from Bjorn Buchner back, everyone's going to be fighting for positions as long as they can stay on the track, and that I think is going to be the biggest challenge here. The nature of this track, if you go on a corner, off a corner, onto the grass, because the track tends to be sort of a left, right, occasionally when you go off you can't come back, and sometimes you can, but the ones where you can't, there tends to be a barrier in the way. So unfortunately you definitely are heading for trouble if you get on the grass on the exit of a corner. So I think in the race, the guys that manage to just keep it on the track are going to have the results. The guys that push too hard and trying to go for the lap times are most likely to hit the dirt and head off into a barrier. You can't win the race if you can't finish the race, so the guys need to be cautious. Everyone seems to be pushing. Even there's Sean Webber going off in the final turn. Stephen Castellan, fastest first sector, losing it in the second sector. Very, very tricky track. So we have Ross Human showing that he's now in second place. Let's see what the times are. I think we have a disconnect from Stephen Castellan. Hopefully he'll be back shortly, but we have a connection by Harvey Hoos. Yeah, hopefully Stephen can rejoin shortly. We wouldn't want to lose him since he's battling so nicely for the front there. Hopefully he hasn't been hit by load shedding. Well, with Harvey having joined, possibly Dani will join and possibly Monet as well. Not sure else who might have power coming on though, so fingers crossed others are coming on, but fingers crossed that Stephen hasn't been hit by the dreaded ESCOM. Alright, Stephen has managed to rejoin. Fantastic. So we're now up to 11 runners, resisting ESCOM's push to stop us. So potentially we could get up to maybe 13 or 14 if guys can join within the next few minutes. So unfortunately some of the guys, if they can join, they'll be coming in blind, jumping in, basically just getting ready to race. If they can get in now, they might get a lap in, but chances are they'll get in and just be able to jump into the race, which means they'll be starting from the back of the grid, not know what the track conditions are like, and have to try and navigate through the field not knowing their own pace. They're more than likely going to make a mistake, touch the grass, and here if you touch the grass we all know it's over. So it's extremely difficult for the guys to come in and start from the back on this track with no track knowledge. Fighting the car nicely, they're keeping it quite smooth and looking good, although he's not faster in the first or second. Those are Both slow sector times for him, but possibly it ends up being a good lap. Well, there goes Sean Johnson. You can see the front was locked as he's on the grass, so there's just no grip. But Sean's also managed to improve. He's only 1.1 off now, whereas he was 1.8 off not so long ago. So in the last few moments he managed to take off almost 7/10 off his lap time, so that's brilliant. And once again, come race time, he's likely to be on the chase. Ross doing well to hang on to the car, managing to keep it out of the barriers. That's the most important thing. As long as you keep going and you don't hit the barriers. Very well held. See, he was nicely opposite lock, drifting on the grass there. So into the final 5 minutes of qualifying. Currently our standings are Sean Webber in first, Stephen Castellan in second, Ross Human in third, Sean Johnson in fourth, Sean Olivier in fifth, Johan Buchner in sixth, Andre Hildebrandt in seventh, Rian van der Westade in eighth, Marius van Wyk in ninth, Mario Claessens in 10th and Javi Goos in 11th. It's looking like it's a head-on collision for Javi. Managing to miss the one, just clipping it slightly. He's likely to clip the next one. It's a problem with the barriers here. You hit them, it just does so much damage. If that happens in the race, you're in big trouble. Right, Sean Webber, fastest middle sector. Not quite beating his time. 2/10 shy of his personal best, which is currently pole position. Sean Olivier has managed to do a best of only 0.5 off the fastest time now. So about a half a second faster than his previous best. So the lap times are improving. There's not much more in it than that, so they're all getting close to the limit. Maurice van Wyk managing to improve up to 7th place, 1.9 off now. It's a nice improvement from 10th place up to 7th. And shortly after that, having that incident. Right, we're into the final 2 minutes of qualifying. Sean Webber's got the fastest first sector now. Will he get the fastest second sector? Yes, he does. Can he finally make it through the final sector? Will he be our first driver to get into the 1 minute 1 minute 5? He's already into the 1 minute 5s. Where have I been? Will he be improving again? Beautiful through the final corner, holding it sideways nicely. Let's see what he does. Yes, 105.804. Brilliant lap. Sean is going to be the man to beat in the race. Does Stephen have anything to answer that? 0.375 off the pace now. personal best in the first sector, but not as fast as what Sean had managed. What can he do in the second sector? A bit wide there, too wide there, onto the grass. Right, into the final minute of qualifying. Sean Olivier having a bit of a scrappy first sector. Let's see what his second. His second is his fastest. Perhaps he can improve as well now that the checkered flag is out. This is his last attempt. And he comes up to traffic. That's unfortunate. Coming up to Mario. Unfortunately, Mario looked like he might have been recovering and was smack bang in the middle of Sean's path. There's a replay of it. Sean had pretty much nowhere to go with Mario being right in the middle of the road. Unfortunately, Mario, being a new driver, not quite realizing that you need to get out the way sooner. If you recover, you need to definitely be out of the way in qualifying with the guys speeding past like that. So can Sean Johnson improve? He's got his fastest middle sector. Let's see where he's going to end up. He's currently 1.5 off. And he does not improve. Alright, so that's it. So the current positions we have Sean Webber in first, Stephen Castellan. Why is it showing it like that? That is not what I wanted. I wanted that. Right, we have Sean Webber in first, Stephen Castellan in second, Sean Olivier in third, Ross Human in fourth, Sean Johnson in fifth, Andre Hildebrandt in sixth, Bjorn Buchner in seventh, Marius van Wyk in eighth, Rian van der Westade in ninth. In 10th place we have Mario, and in 11th place we have Javi Goos. Alright, so let's head off to a quick ad break and then I'll be back with you ready for the race. Alright, and we're back Everyone's on the outlap at the moment. I believe this race is a standing start. So let us have a look at our positions quickly. Right, so first of all we are here at Aldo Scribante in the windy city of Port Elizabeth for round 2 of the South African Porsche Cup, proudly sponsored by Owen Glass. Then our starting order. We have Sean Webber in first. We have Stephen Castellin in second, Sean Willefear in third, and Ross Human in fourth. In fifth place we have Sean Johnson, in sixth place Andre Hildebrandt, in seventh Bjorn Buchner, and in eighth place Marius van Wyk. In ninth place we have Rian van der Westhuizen, in 10th place Mario Claessens, and in 11th place Harvey Goos. Alright, is it a rolling start or is it a standing start? I believe it is a standing start. Right, so here we go. Everyone getting ready to go. Revving those engines. All the tensions are over from qualifying. It's about to go red. There go the lights, the buzzers. And it's green. Surprisingly, no R-Factor man screaming, go, go, go. Nice and close at the front here. Even going around the outside, very brave move. Well done there. Sean sliding into second with Sean Webber, that is, with Sean Willefear hot on his tail. So will Stephen Castellin be able to keep it clean, keep it off the grass? Sean Webber's got the pace. Where will he make the move? Can he make the move? Will he dare to? In the background, guys already hitting the dirt. That I believe was Sean Johnson, who's made it up to fourth, getting a little bit wide. Here we're on board with Sean Webber, looking at the back end of Stephen, drifting it there onto the curve. Oh, that's Stephen probably into the barrier. Well, Sean has managed to take first place. It's a great shame for Stephen, one of the top pace setters, just not able to avoid the curb. First 2 laps in these cars are atrocious. The way the tyres are so cold, you've got to be very, very careful. I think just pushing a fraction too hard, getting on the curb, and then the curb biting. So Sean Willefear currently in second. Very close to Sean Webber at the moment. Sean Willefear is pushing hard here. Is he going to push too hard? Is Sean Webber just pacing himself, doing the smart thing? This of course has allowed Sean Johnson up into third. Also very close at the moment. Fifth place Ross Human, hot on the heels of Bjorn Buchner. Bjorn must be sweating with Ross right on his arse like that. Up the inside goes Ross, locking up it, managing to hang on to it. Good spatial awareness there by Bjorn, not turning in. And a new fastest lap of 106.225 by Sean Webber. Will Sean Webber now just slowly start to push and pull away? These cars are a real handful around here. So we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. Who is it that has possibly gone off? Well, thankfully Stephen Castellan is still in the race and he hasn't abandoned the race. So potentially his damage isn't that bad, but he might be damaged and fighting a wounded car. He has now picked up 6th place from Sean Olivier, who I think was the driver that went off in Sector 3, because Sean Johnson is now up into 2nd place. That's a fantastic result for Sean for the championship, as it is for Sean Webber. So we have the Seans in 1st and 2nd. If Sean Olivier can get 3rd, then we'll have Sean's on the podium. Sean 1, 2, 3. But at the moment he's going to need to get past Ross Human, Jon Buchner, Andre Hildebrandt and Stephen Castellan. Stephen Castellan getting it nice and sideways there. Carvico is trying to get out of their way there. Looks like Harvey's got a bit of damage to the rear of his car. Unfortunately for Harvey, with the load shedding having kicked in, he didn't have time to practice much. Very unlucky. But very nice that he was able to at least make the race. Which also means he'll have better points for the championship, so the guys that couldn't make it will be quite far behind. So as long as they can finish the race, they'll get a good handful of points tonight. Sean Webber's got this one in the bag at the moment, pulling away nicely, a gap of 7 seconds over Sean Johnson. Let's have a look at the extended battle here. Battle for 5th. Very sideways, managing to hang on to it. It's hairy stuff. So Stephen Castellan managing to get past Bjorn Buchner and up into 4th place now. Is this going to be the comeback of all comebacks? So Harvey Hurst has unfortunately had a DNF. So we're down one driver already. The track has claimed its first victim. Our new driver, Mario Claessens, is managing to hang in there at least, get some experience. Even if you're not fast in your first race, you can just use it to gain as much experience as you can, learn the cars, learn the sim, and from that come back stronger in the following rounds. So on board with Ross, hot on the heels of Sean Johnson. Ross getting it very twitchy under the brakes. Stephen Castellan just setting the fastest lap of a 106.211. So he's pushing hard. He's a further 6 seconds back on this. Likely to catch him in probably 4 laps time. So Stephen's on for a 2nd place. Ross getting really sideways there. Sean's fighting hard for his 2nd place. Doesn't want to give it up. Ross is trying hard to get it. Probably overheating his rears just a little bit too much there. Looks like Mario's gone into the pits. Standing 26.9 seconds in the pits, and Sean Webber setting the new fastest lap of a 106.063. So the pace is getting hotter and hotter. And Mario is now finally leaving the pits, probably gone in for a bit of repairs, and Stephen Caslin has finally put it into the 105s in the race. 105.983. So the battle here for 5th place is also hotting up between Sean Willefee and Bjorn Buchner. Looks like Sean Willefee is moving forward and Bjorn Buchner is moving backwards. Maybe just playing the safe game. Quite a big difference in lap time there. Andre Hildebrandt just losing it. Ooh, what's happening to Maurice van Wyk? What happened there? That's a shame. Getting too wide on the exit, somehow it pulled him off the track and into the barrier. Bonnet is gone. Will he be able to limp around into the pits? It's definitely going to be a race of attrition. But we've seen Mario has managed to go into the pits, do his repairs and carry on, so potentially Marius will have to do the same. And as more and more guys are going off, you never know, the guys that go into the pits might actually manage to come out with a repaired car that's faster than the other guys that have put it off somewhere along the way and not gone into the pits. So, 20 minutes remaining. 1/3 of the race done. We have a yellow flag in sector 2. Not sure who that is. Currently Sean Johnson still defending hard from Ross Human for 2nd place. Stephen Caslin's right on their tail. So this is a 3-way battle for 2nd at the moment. Stephen's pushing very hard. Hopefully he doesn't get bitten again. He just needs to keep it calm. He's got the pace. At this point in time his best chance is to fight for 2nd. The pace between himself and Sean Webber is neither here nor there, so he's not likely to catch unless Sean Webber makes a mistake. So he just needs to play it calm, go for that 2nd, pace himself. He's got 20 minutes to do it, not make a mistake, end up in the wall again. And then from Sean Johnson's point of view, he just needs to keep defending as he's doing. He's doing a great job defending as he always does. Ross Human getting extremely sideways there, nice drift, fighting the car all the way, in the corner, out the corner. Stephen Caslin's also got to be careful watching the guy in front of him getting sideways like that. You don't have much confidence where to pass because you're not too sure what's going to happen. But Ross has got his car all over the show, nice and loose, just holding it to every corner. Using the throttle to rotate the car. Very dangerous going on the curb in that corner. Someone's wide. Is that Mario in front of them? I think it is. I believe that was Mario just running wide, being lapped again. Doing well for his first ever race. Managing to keep going, that's the main thing. And up the inside of Sean, a bit of contact. Locking up slightly there, making contact. Sean might have better drive. He was really sideways. Ross was really sideways onto the straight, but Sean didn't manage to capitalize. And now Stephen's got them firm in their sights. In his sights, sorry. Ross getting sideways. Too sideways. Oh, that was very well held. It was on the verge of going around. Looks like he's... oh, Sean's managed to get caught up in that. I was quite lucky that he managed to get a 360 there, so he hopefully won't lose any positions. I think Sean should be safe with his position at the moment, but he'll probably be fuming after that. Little bit of contact, and managing to go around purely because Ross is fighting slides and the car got out of shape and they made contact. Now it's Stephen's turn. Will he dare making a pass? Ross is all out of shape everywhere. In the slipstream, will he do it? I don't think so. No, pulling out, thinking better of it. Ross is very late in the brakes, but that unfortunately gets the car very sideways. Stephen's trying to stick his nose up there. Got to be careful his rear doesn't come around when he tries to brake a bit too hard to avoid contact. Alright, at the halfway point of the race, 15 minutes in. Stephen pushing hard, Ross pushing even harder to defend. At this point in time, I think it's just a matter of time before Stephen gets past or before there's contact. Looks like he's got it. He's probably... no, didn't have enough drive. Surprising. Ross managing to maintain the drive around the outside. Guys are getting very, very loose. Of course the tyres are going to start wearing now as well, but the track will be gripping up a little bit. Track grip is set pretty high, but unfortunately the grass is still very, very slippery. So as the tyres wear, the track is gripping up, but they're very sideways by Stephen. They might start to get a bit too confident with the track and end up on the grass, and then they're going to end up in all kinds of trouble, like Ross probably is right now. Did he manage to hang on to? Well, Stephen's finally up into second place. He just had to wait, be patient, and then he got his position. So now is he going to push hard and go for the position? And now Sean is now on the back of Ross, so the fight for the final podium position. The two of them back together again. Ross Human and Sean Johnson. Will Sean Johnson be able to take back the position? I think the way that Ross is wearing his tyres out towards the end of the race, he'll most likely have more grip than Ross. So if he just hangs in there, he'll eventually be able to pass him, or Ross will make another mistake and then he'll get the position back that way, as Stephen did. Sean certainly looking smoother, Ross looking as ragged as can be, hanging the car out everywhere he can. looks spectacular and fantastic, but definitely not the way you want to be saving your tyres. Taking a very wide line in, squaring it off, rather than taking the tighter line in and being smoother. Well, we're midway through the session, so let's have a look at our mid-race results. So, currently we have Sean Webber out in front, Stephen Castellan in second, Ross Human in third, Sean Johnson in fourth, hot on the heels of Ross Human, Bjorn Buchner in fifth, Sean Olivier in sixth, Brian van der Westhuizen in seventh, Marius van Wyk in eighth, Andre Hildebrandt in ninth, Mario Claessen's doing great to be in 10th position in his first race, and Harvey Goos in 11th, unfortunately our only DNF for the round so far. Someone locking up on the brakes there. Who was that? Was that Andre? I think it was possibly Andre. Bjorn Buchner having a good fight. I think that was Andre going off again. Possibly unsettled by Mario through the previous corner. Sean Woolafia going around, managing to keep it out the barrier. These cars, once they go, it's extremely difficult to hang on to it. So Andre Hildebrandt looking like he had a bit of drive there, and Sean Johnson has lost it. Doing great, just waiting till it's safe to return to the track. So did Sean Johnson manage to hang on to it, or no, he's lost a place. He's now in 5th place. So in 4th place is now Bjorn Buchner. So Sean Webber with a commanding lead of almost 22 seconds from Stephen Castellan. Will be wise just to hang in there for second. Great for their championships. Ross Human, another one that's going to benefit greatly in the championship. A solid 3rd position. Bjorn Buchner also a solid 4th position. Sean Johnson, 5th position. Sean Woolafia, 6th position. Rian van der Westhuizen in 7th. Marius van Wyk, 8th. Andre Hildebrandt hanging in there for 9th. Mario Claessens in 10th. And Javi Goos, our DNF in 11th. So the final 10 minutes. And Sean Woolafia just touching the grass, going around. Thankfully there's a bit of kitty litter there to stop him going into the barrier. As he beached it, no, he's managed to keep it going. Possibly Marius van Wyk getting past him there. Not sure if that was for position. Let's have a look at the standings. No, it wasn't. Let us see if during the race we can get in-race season standings. Will that give us the correct information? So that's our current championship position. I was hoping it would give us a update with the drivers where they are on the point standing, but that didn't quite work out. Sean Johnson fighting back. Will he get back his 4th place? Hot on the heels of Bjorn Buchner again. Thankfully for Sean, he didn't damage his car when he went off. So he should be able to return to his pace, which was a fair bit faster than Bjorn. So I think, barring any mistakes, he'll likely get past Bjorn again, and then that will be where he's likely to finish. But there's only 8 minutes left. If Bjorn can defend, Bjorn might get his best result of the season so far. Of course, they're catching up to the back marker of Mario. His car looking a little bit second hand. Will he play a part in the results? Always risky when you're coming up to someone to lap them. You never know what they're going to do, if they're going to block you, if they're going to move over unexpectedly, or if they're going to just totally be out of the way and not be a problem, then that's great. But unfortunately you never know, so even if they do, you tend to hesitate. Or in this case, they've run wide. Sean going up the inside of Bjorn, taking advantage of it. That's one way of Mario getting out the way for them. Sean's at least still on for his best result of the season. Still a few rounds to go to improve it. Nice exit onto the straight using the full width of the curb. Why is it showing Sean Webber in second? Has Sean Webber been off? Without us seeing. He has indeed. Stephen Castellan is our leader. What happened to Sean Webber? For some reason the replay hasn't shown it, unless it's still going to. But Sean Webber has lost the lead to Stephen Castellan. He's now 3.8 seconds behind Stephen, from having a really commanding 22-second lead. Sean Johnson now pulling away now from Bjorn Buchner. Of course, as the race progresses, people's concentration will start to fade and more mistakes will happen, so anyone can still go off. Sean Johnson usually capitalizes on this, so those ahead of him might still go off and you might pick up a few places. We've seen Sean Webber make a mistake. Stephen Castellan has made his mistakes, so possibly he's focused at the moment. Ross Human might make a few more. He's been extremely erratic the way he's throwing the car around, although he's been controlling it pretty well. Anything can go wrong when you're driving like that. When you're on the limit like that, a slight mistake can be very costly. Bjorn getting a nice drift on out of the corner there. Without it getting too sideways, you could just hear the revs picking up, so a bit of traction loss, keeping the car going forward. Shea Mario again off there. Oh, and Sean Webber going a bit wide there. Still pushing, trying to catch up to Stephen. I think he's faster than Stephen, so he's probably aware that he's faster. Is he going to push it and go for the win, or is he going to settle for second? Back markers coming in the way as well. I believe that's Andre Hildebrandt. Andre getting out of the way nicely for them. So, the gap between them is, I think, closing. And Sean was indeed 0.642 faster than Stephen on the previous lap. So it's going to be very close on the final lap. It's going to have to be probably a final lap move for Sean if he's going to catch. At this rate, he will probably catch on the last lap. So a 2-second gap. Probably 2 laps left, including the one we're on. It's about another 2.5, so it's probably going to catch on the final lap. It's going to be close. So Sean must be kicking himself for throwing away the lead with such a commanding lead of 22 seconds. Pushing unnecessarily hard. Maybe not realizing he had such a commanding lead. Sometimes it's better to keep pushing, keep your focus. And Stephen, they're losing a lot there, so that's also going to help Sean. somehow Steven is managing to keep the gap. I think Steven's done enough to fight for the win. To keep the hard charging Sean behind him. I don't think Sean's got enough time. He certainly doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment. He seems to have lost a bit of pace, or Steven has possibly sped up a bit. We saw Steven getting a bit sideways, so we know he's pushing. It looks like he might even be extending the gap, although the gap's showing that it's smaller. It looked larger there, visually. But it says it's 1.6 now, so Sean is closing, but I don't think he has enough time. The number of cars that have no bonnets gives away just how brutal this track has been. We have Rian van der Westhuizen in 7th, doing well to hang in there. Steven extending his lead slightly to 1.7. I think he's got it in hand at the moment, maybe just controlling it. Or possibly Sean has finally decided just to play it safe. We're on the back of Marius van Wyk. Although Marius van Wyk is a lap down on Rian, but 2 laps down on the leader. I'm sure at this point Marius will be getting blue flags. Steven Castellan, time's up. This is the final lap for him. Final corner, I think. Dangerous final corner to be drifting like that. But taking the win in style. And the closest of margins. That was very close. That was brilliant. Fantastic there, just under a second. Sean Webber behind Steven Castellan. Ross Human coming in across the line, 3rd. Sean Johnson on his way to 4th. Catching up to the back of Marius van Wyk. It's Marius crossing the line as well, and Bjorn Buchner onto the straight. 5th position, a solid 5th position. Sean Olivier is unfortunately in the pits. Rian van der Westhuizen taking 7th. I believe Marius van Wyk has finished. Andre Hildebrand has finished. Mario has finished, and Harvey is gone. Alright then, so that is it. Let's have a look at our final standings. So, taking the win, Steven Castellan, a brilliant fight for the win, coming back from a 22 deficit to first place, managing to pull it back due to a mistake by Sean. Sean Webber managing to hang in there and come back to a strong second. Ross Human, solid 3rd, taking the final podium position. Sean Johnson managing to get back up into 4th from being in 2nd at one point, then down to 5th again, back up to 4th. Bjorn Buchner, best result so far, 5th place. Sean Olivier, 6th place, struggling a lot I think. Rian van der Westhuizen 1 lap down, 7th place. Marius van Wyk 2 laps down in 8th place. Andre Hildebrand 9th place. Mario Claessen's completing his very first race. Very good to at least complete it. Getting 10th place. And in 11th place, Harvey Goos. Unfortunately having a DNF, so probably going off, hitting the barrier and destroying his car. Alright, let's head to an ad break, and I will go and find the drivers and we can hear what the race was like from their point of view. Alright, welcome back everyone. Sorry, unfortunately I hadn't unmuted the mic, so let's start over. In the booth with us we have our race winner Stephen Castellan, second place Sean Webber, and third place Ross Human. Stephen, that was a dramatic race. Tell it from your point of view. Take two.
Yeah, Sean was definitely getting the better lap times in the qualifying and everything, and I was content on fighting, but right in the beginning, mistake, dropped down to 11th, fought my way back to second. I said I'm never going to catch him. He got hooked up on some back markers, and then it was all luck. He was catching up, but I just had to hold it off. The tires did not last. The last 3 laps were pretty tough.
Yeah, it looks like you were getting quite sideways in the last few laps. And in fact, on the final lap, you got pretty sideways, and that Sean closed the gap down to just under a second because of that. And on the final corner, you were rather sideways as well.
I think I was down to in the 80%, and I mean, in practice, you never get that low. It's normally like 95%, only like 5% wear on the tires. It was over 10 on 2 of my tires. It was pretty rough, but it's because just being untidy.
And Sean, from your point of view, how was the race? I mean, you had a commanding lead of 22 seconds. You looked like you were just cruising away, and then tragedy.
Yeah, it's the control of the car is absolutely lovely until you get to a back marker. The lift off oversteer is hectic, and it caught me out actually twice in this race. The first time Stephen was 20 seconds behind me, so I managed to get going again. And then the second time it happened, he actually passed me and I was facing the wrong direction. Got back on the track, and after 2 spins as well, my tires were very, very loose for the last, I don't know, maybe 3-4 laps, trying to catch Stephen again. But it went well. I enjoyed it.
I noticed at one point it looked like you were catching and you were maybe had enough time in it, but with the last 3 laps to go, going into those last 3 laps, you were about 0.6 of a second faster, so you had enough time, but it would have been sort of touch and go for the last lap. But I noticed in those last 3 laps, your times dipped off, and then Stephen actually increased the gap at one point, and then it came down a bit as obviously his tires were going. So, yeah, I could see the tires were playing a big role in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well done for second. Then Ross, great third position, taking the final podium position, and a good battle there with Sean Johnson as well in the race. How was your race?
Oh, it was good. Had a bit of a rough start. Poor start, and losing a couple of positions there off the line, but fighting back and chasing Sean and his line, managed to take advantage of one of his minor mistakes, and got to third with Stephen chasing up me, and then just overcooked the turn and dropped that position then.
I noticed you were very, very sideways compared to Sean. The two of you had completely different driving styles. He was as smooth as could be. You were just hanging it out everywhere, sideways into the corner, sideways out of the corner.
Most of the turns are banked, so I used it to my advantage.
It looked good on camera.
Thank you.
I'm surprised your tires hung in there to the end. I was kind of expecting that your tires would be pretty bad towards the end.
They were a bit varm and cooked, but I made it work.
All right, then let's go back to Stephen. Stephen, congratulations again on the win. Any shout-outs from your point of view?
Oh, just to the regular wife, the mom, everyone watching, friends that are finally starting to come on board. Hopefully we got some more viewership. I keep punting it out there. But yeah, it's a pity. Thank you to you. It's a pity you couldn't be racing with us. But
yeah.
Soon.
I'll get there eventually. As soon as we can get someone else to do some commentary, then that would be the main thing. We just need to find another commentator, then I can take part again. But in the meantime, you guys are having fun, and it's enjoyable to produce this, so all good.
This car is just, I mean, the MX-5s are great, but this car just adds a whole nother level.
Yes, until you go beyond that level and you go over the limit. Or catch a back marker.
Yeah, a good race.
And then Sean, any shout-outs from your point of view?
Nothing, just friends, family that's watching. Other than that, all good.
All right, well done then. And Ross, from your point of view, any shout-outs?
Just all the supporters and to all the other drivers and yourself for creating such a lekker league.
Yeah, thanks guys. Also, big thanks to Monet, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight thanks to power issues. Unfortunately, a lot of our drivers couldn't make it tonight. We were hoping to have a larger field tonight, but unfortunately we had almost half the field that we had last week because of the load shedding.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed for next week we can have a much fuller field and be sort of mid-20s, possibly closer to the 30s. That would be great.
That would be amazing.
It'll be amazing, and the lift-off oversteer is going to kill me.
And that'll be at East London. It's a fast track, so the lift-off oversteer is going to be brutal as well. All right.
His hometown, he knows that track.
Yes. I'm sure you've driven around there a few times.
Yep, a couple of times.
So hopefully that pays dividends in the races next week.
Ross, it's home for me too, bud. I'm on you.
So Sean, you're also going to be at the front. Again.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
We had good pace here, so you're obviously on top of the car, and I'm sure you have some track knowledge, so it should be good there.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
All right, well, thanks, guys. I'm going to end it there. And thanks once again for everyone, and we will catch you at the next one.
Awesome.
I'm a setting sun, but I'll never run. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I will stay and fight as long as I'm alive. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. Hell's at my door. I'm a shadow of the man I was before. I'm a dead man walking before I die. I'll take every soul I can into the night and kill till I die.